I went into service in March of 1943 and came out March of 1946.
Mm-hmm.
About half of that time I spent in the United States at various camps, and the other half I spent overseas, of which about 6 or 8 months was in frontline combat. These two pictures here are taken in Camp Blanding, Florida. It's in the northern part of Florida, not too far.
Let me get that one up. And then there's the other one. Okay. That's where you did your basic training?
Well, no, at that time I was here, I actually was a mail clerk.
Oh.
And this picture here was taken also in Florida. This shows me as a private. That's a private first class.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was discharged, I was a corporal.
And how old were you here?
Well, I'd be around 19.
About 19.
This is a combat map, and kind of rare because it's in color. Most of the combat maps are all in black and white. This one's in color, and I don't know why it came out that way, but a buddy of mine in the service, or actually in the 14th Armored Division Association,
Mm-hmm.
a buddy of mine gave me the originals color of these combat maps. Now, this particular portion of the overall maps shows where I did most of my fighting.
Mm-hmm.
When we come in through Marseille, which is on the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
Marseille had already been taken, so we went a few miles upland, and while they were getting logistics together, we just bivouacked. Bivouac means that you're sleeping in tents outside.
Uh-huh.
So then we marched. Then after a week or two, they decided it was time for us to go into combat, and we marched north until we got to a place called I.flv.
Is that south of Colmar? Here's Colmar. There's Strasbourg. There it is, I.flv.
Yeah, I.flv. This is where
In France, so, yeah.
This is where we started combat.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember from that article I wrote recently, I.flv. was where this guy, our first encounter with the enemy, resulted in one dead enemy soldier who was wearing silk panties. He evidently was on his way home.
Right.
And didn't know that we were so close.
Oh my goodness.
Well, then we fought all the way through here, all the way. This is the blue line is the Rhine River.
Right.
And this is France. This is Germany. Now this yellow line here is a famous Siegfried line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any pictures in here, unfortunately, of the Siegfried line, but Siegfried line could be a mile wide, for example.
Uh-huh.
There would be concrete pillars where tanks would get hung up on them, so you couldn't drive a tank through. There would be ditches. There would be pillboxes with artillery in it. All sorts of things in the Siegfried line to keep the enemy from coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all Siegfried line.
Mm-hmm.
And we crossed the Siegfried line up here by Wissenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And we crossed and then we went across the river and down into Germany. Well, most of our fighting for several months was right in this area.
The north border between France and Germany.
No, this is still France.
Oh, is it? Let's see.
I think maybe this
Yeah,
is maybe
I don't know.
maybe that's Germany. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
And then we went straight on down through Germany over, and when the war ended, I was in Austria. after about a week, maybe less than that, they suddenly pulled us out. I guess they didn't want it known that we were in Austria because Austria was for the Russians.
Oh.
But they pulled us out of there, and there's no record in our history. I have a history book on
On the 14th, yeah.
and there's no mention of going into Austria.
Huh.
Well,
So this is a poem you wrote.
yes. When I joined the 14th Armored Division shortly before they went overseas at Camp Campbell, Kentucky, they passed out winter clothing to us, including heavy winter socks. But then we knew we were going overseas to Europe rather than Asia, because in Asia would have been different clothing. And
Come on.
in the toe of one of the socks was this label. The Adler Company used to be a big firm in sporting goods, men's clothing. I don't think it's around anymore.
I don't know.
So I wrote this poem about it.
Well, because there was this label in there that someone put in. Yeah, in your sock. And so you saved it all those years.
I still have it in my pocket now.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Ah.